welcome back to My Life with Plants. I'm Newman, and as I promised, I was going to do a short video on the book that I ordered on orchids, and this was all decided after watching Terry and his orchid video channel. So shout out to Terry. Yeah, it's about time I got a decent book on orchids. So we're going to introduce it to you, what I bought, and plus some other books that some I've had for many, many years, and others that I've just recently bought that are secondhand. This was really wrapped nicely, by the way. It had plastic around it, sealed up nice and tightly so that it wouldn't get wet or damaged. And I've gone ahead and opened it, so I'm not fumbling around. And here it is here. A Guide to Orchids of the World, Margaret Hodgson, Roland, Paine, and Neville Anderson. I can get my tongue around that one. Yeah, okay. This was first published 1991. It would make it about 35 years old. Okay. It's got a preface or introduction or foreword, acknowledgements, climate key, another introduction, parts of an orchid, classification of orchids, habitats, pollination, propagation, orchid genera, pests and diseases, clubs and organizations, glossary, bibliography, index of common names, and botanical names. This book is brand new, and it's old. It's an old publication. Let's just see how good this is. Orchidaceae is one of the largest, most diverse and exciting families of flowering plant in the flowering plant kingdom, comprising more than 700 genera and some 35,000 orchid species scattered throughout the world. Their diversity in shape, size, color, habitat, and perfume seem to be of unknown combinations and range. A Guide to Orchids of the World has been designed for the keen amateur and exacting professional grower alike. We intend this book also to be useful buyer's guide. Throughout the world, there is renewed interest in species for hybridization, since more orchid enthusiasts have begun doing their own hybridizing and breeding. This book provides information to assist them. It's got an introduction. Orchidaceae is the largest family of flowering plants, plant kingdom, 35,000 species, including the hybrids that have been done separate to the hybrids, 35,000 species, not including hybrids. Okay. Sympodial, monopodial groups. Sympodial Cattleya, Dendrobium coelogyne, monopodial, Phalaenopsis, Angraecum, Vanda. Parts of an orchid: dorsal sepal, anther, petal, lateral sepal, petal, ovary, floral bract, and labellum. Done with classic illustrations, which I love. I love how we have illustrations. And this particular Caladinia tessellata has different different names to the parts of the flower. It's got a dorsal sepal and anther column wings, calli, or cali, petal, labellum, ovary, and lateral sepals. So you can have a really good look at, these ones look like what's that, Gastrodia sesamoides. That one looks quite similar to the ground orchids that we have here. Look at that. There's all the illustrations of every single orchid and all of their structures. Now we go into the bulb part, or the growing parts. We've got this creeping bulbophyllum, pseudobulb globose on creeping rhizome, Dendrobium sulcatum. The pseudobulb is swollen and depressed, fusiform spindle. Fusiform means that it tapers off at the end. Pseudobulb swollen at the nodes. The node is a growing point. Fluted globese. This bulbophyllum has an oblong emarginate and equally lobed apex. Pseudobulbs broadly oval and flattened. Compressed, deeply ribbed. Wow. Wow. And my favorite page, leaf and petal shapes. Subulate, linear, oblong, lanceolate, oblanceolate, ovate, obovate, elliptic, spathulate, deltoid, reniform, kidney-shaped, deltoid, like the delt on your muscle on your shoulder, delt shape, kidney shape, cordate, meaning heart shape, triangular. You get a basic deltoid and triangular is almost the same. So almost the same description that you would use for other plants. Trulate. Sagittate is spear-shaped. Sagittate is spear, and hestate is how can I describe it? It's spear, sagittate, and hestate is another kind of a spear shaped. And you got leaf tips, acute, acuminate, gradually going to a point. It's a sharp point. Bifid. Looks like it's uneven. Indent. Obtuse. It's like rounded. Retuse. It's got a dent in the top. Marginate. Orn. Praemoris. Looks like it's cut off on the end. Tridentate. Cordate. Truncate. Means it's cut off at the end. Cordate. Long tip on the leaf there. Classification of orchids. Moving on to habitat. Orchid habitats are diverse, ranging from the Arctic regions to the tropics, from sea level to elevations as high as 3,800 meters. But the most preferred region are the warmer areas of the globe. Orchid species in tropical, subtropical, warm and cold temperate rainforest conditions are largely epiphytic or lithophytic, growing on trees or rocks. Of the numerous epiphytic orchids, none is parasitic. It means it doesn't take anything from its host. In the Arctic and temperate regions, the orchids are by large terrestrials growing on the ground. Cool. Rainforest habitats. With some nice photos. Got a Dendrobium kingianum outcrop. Swamp and rock woodlands. Rainforest. Different descriptions of rainforest by photos. Underground orchid, subterranean. There has a underground rhizome. waterfalls, cloud forests, swamplands. Let me move on to pollinators. A cattleya is pollinated by honey eater birds. Crimson topaz hummingbird, Topaza pala. Talks about them, cross-pollination and development, and all of that stuff. There's the flower, let's see, the self-pollination or selfing occurs towards the end of the life of the flower. If cross-pollination by a pollinator does not take place, the rostellum is important in the selfing process. The rostellum is the beak-like cell which separates the polliner at the top of the column beneath the anther cap from the stigma lower down the column. As the flower ages, it begins to fade and the rostellum withers completely and the polliner reaches the stigma, thus fertilizing the ovaries. If selfing continues over many generations, the colony becomes weak, losing vigor. This is very educational. Wow, wonderful. Look at this. It actually shows the insect. It's going to come over to the labellum. There's the insect. There's the labellum. Insect enters chamber. Inside, through here. Okay. Insect is trapped. Okay. This one is pollination of a moth. Its long proboscis going in there. A bucket orchid trap. Looks like the bug goes inside to get the yummy nectar or sweet sugars and then falls in to the liquid. Has a swim in there. Tries to get out. The bees crawls between spout and column collecting pollen on its back on the way out. Cool, neat. Propagation. How to do propagation. Aranthes. With pronunciation. Aranthes. 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 From Greek means air mist. Anthos flower, air mist flower. What a neat name. What a neat name. From native to parts of that West Africa. Could be Tanzania or Zimbabwe on the coast going into Madagascar. Aranthes. Aranthes. Epiphytic habit of the delicate flower, air flower or misty habitat. This genus is some 30 species, originates from Madagascar and the adjacent islands, and has one genus in Africa. This is the most unusual epiphytic or lithophytic herb. It is typically stemless and leaves are fleshy, coriaceous or leathery and disticus. Disticus. Okay, it slipped my mind, the meaning of that, sorry. Disticus, come on. Coriaceous, leathery, disticus. Racemose and pendulous. Racemose means coming down or dangling. The flowers are mostly large, green or white and fragrant. The sepals are long. Sepals are the bottom part of this flower. White and fragrant. The sepals are long, attenuate, adnate to the column foot. The petals are similar but smaller. The labellum is articulate, broad, and the apex long, attenuate. And it has culture. Mount on tree fern fiber slab in a basket with shredded tree fern fiber or sphagnum moss. Remember the inflorescence is pendulous. It's perfect drainage. Aeranthes arachnitis. No common name. Flowers green to lemon. Grows up to 20 centimeters. Intermediate to warm climate. Distribution native to Madagascar. Arides. Aridi. I don't pronounce the S. Aridi. 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 Angricum. Angricum. I was saying angricum. Angricum. Lovely photos. I think this book has almost everything in it. Brasavala. Brasavala. Bifrenaria. I was saying bifrenaria. Bifrenaria. Oh, cool. Teach me more. Tyranthina. Tyranthina. This is the one I have. Pseudobulbs ovoid, angled up to 2.5 centimeters, elliptic or oblong, acute. Flowers, 7.5 centimeters across, labellum, trilobed, white throat, mid-lobed and hairy. Cool. Okay, if you're looking for a book that has in-depth I keep saying biology for crying out loud. If you're looking for a book that's in detail of plant anatomy, culture, the complicated technical names. Got biology stuck in my mind. I can't push away from it. You know what I want to say. Could be age. I don't know. Oh my gosh. Anyway, this book is absolutely fantastic. If I keep reading it, you might get bored to death, so I'm going to move on. But wow, wow, wow. I'm very happy. The people I'm living with won't be, because my wish list will get bigger and longer. Next up, this one's in Japanese. This is my pocket encyclopedia of orchids. That includes a lot of hybrids. It's got all these hybrids in there, which I don't particularly, well, want included because it takes up too much of the books. In general, it takes up too much of it. It's got cymbidium hybrids until they come out of my ears. It's just the amount of hybrids in this book is just far too many. Numerous. And really they should separate the books entirely. They should have just species and books with just hybrids. But in general, this has a lot of great stuff. The photos are fantastic. They're very, very clear. I'm still going through this. It also has habitat, so at the beginning of each this is an introduction to orchids in general, their habitat, where they come from, Then it has the introduction and where these Cattleya come from. Nice habitat photos. And it goes into the species here in detail as much as this one. Next one I have is saguaro. I've had for many years. It has a lot of history in here. As miners, ranchers, and other settlers moved into the Sonoran Desert in the 1800s, they just disrupted the saguaro's life cycle. Chemicals from mines poisoned the soil, and the woodcutters chopped down palo verde, mesquite, and other nurse trees, which protect young saguaros from the extremes of summer and winter weather. Cattle trampled young saguaros or ate the brush that protected them. In 1993, in one of the last acts as president, Herbert Hoover established Saguaro National Monument in the Rincon Mountains east of Tucson. In 1961, portions of the Tucson Mountains west of Tucson were added to the monument. 1994, the monument became a national park. So it's got history, and it's got how people that lived on the land many, many years ago, Native American people, how they utilized this. This is a fantastic read. It's really great. The Great Saguaro Book. Susan Hazen Hammond. Recommend it. Next up is another orchid book. Japanese Cymbidium Garangi. All of these fantastic photos of nothing but Cymbidium Garangi and all of its variations. They're not different species. They're the same species, but they were discovered in different parts of Japan, coming from Hokkaido, which is the most northern island, right down into Kyushu. And they're all variants. And it's full of history. Beautiful book. Albino form. It's a big, big read. It'll take me a long time to get through it, but as a collector's book, it's fantastic. Next one, the Illustrated Encyclopedia of Succulents, A Guide to Natural History and Cultivation of Cacti and Cactus-like Plants, Gordon Rowley, Fellow of the National Cactus and Succulent Society. This is very educational. It's a nice big, big book. There's a foreword. The succulent lifestyle, mises for water, unusual pathways of life. Mesophyte, how they exchange carbon dioxide and oxygen. When, all of that stuff. Origin and diversity. Family tree. Where they come from, all the dispersed plants that came from it. Lilies. Saxifragales, violales. Campanulales. The family is Euphorbias. Introduction. Medicines and drugs coming from it. Crops of food. Uses of succulents. Phaerocactus dijueti, giant barrel cactus of Lower California. This specimen is nearly 2 meters. Note the ribbed stem, which gives this Phaerocactus away because of the way it waves. Morphology, how they are constructed. Let me get into the pollination and dispersal. Cultivation. Conservation. The name game. Nomenclature. Systematics. Oh, very, very educational book, isn't it? You read this, you're going to get really smart. Know your stuff. Persulaceae. The ice plant, Mesembryanthemaceae. Lily family. Cactus family. What makes a cactus? Oroya, one of my favorite Peruvian mountain cacti. Oroya includes neat, depressed globose cacti from high in the Andes, which form rings of small and usually yellowish orange flowers around the apex. Orchid with sturdy golden brown spires is the showiest, which I've been trying to get for years. Orchid. The Echinopsis, we have a large genus, both dwarf and tall columnar species, funnel-shaped, often very large blooms, which are frequently white, nocturnal and scented, occasionally colored. There's a Rabutia, it's like a Labivia. This is one educational book. This has everything in it that would make you know your stuff about cacti, so I recommend that. So I have a great collection, but not very big, and thanks for joining me. I hope you found this interesting, and this sparks you guys off on a quest for gathering more books and enjoying a good read. I mean, obviously not these Japanese ones, but these three. They're fantastic books. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you want to leave me a comment, go ahead. And until next time, we'll see you. Bye-bye.